I spent my 30th birthday driving my best friend across Europe only for him to abandon me, blame me, and cut me off without saying goodbye after 25 years of friendship. First, I will add some background important information for this story. Me, 30F, have known my best friend L 30M since kindergarten, but we went to different schools and reunited when we were 20. At the time I went to Iceland, find a job there, and as he saw that on social media, he approached me to get some basic information about life there. Few months later he moved to Iceland, and since then we become best friends. There is no chance that we could be something more than friends, as first, he is not my type, he is like brother to me, and second, he is homosexual. I have no problem with that. I really support this community as I have few homosexual friends. When back then I broke up with my boyfriend, L really helped me and offered to move in with him for a few months before I moved back to my country. At the time he broke up with his boyfriend as well, so it brought us closer together even more, and we support each other emotionally. The time we spend under one roof together was amazing. We had a lot of fun, going out or just cooking at home, etc. After I have moved back home, we stayed in contact. We had 2-hour-long calls every few weeks, 1 to 2 times per month, and 1 per year. I have visited him in Iceland, and he usually visit our hometown, where is his family, 2 times per year. Everything between us was great. But 2 years ago, we went for vacation to Canary Islands. He flew there from Iceland. Our good friend H, who is from our hometown as well, and she was my classmate at high school, flew from Scotland, where she has been living for last 5 or 6 years, and we just wanted to travel and had great time together. So, we thought. We were talking about the places we would like to visit there and about some activities. We have not planned anything ahead, but it was not such a problem. But in following day we started with H, noticed that L have made some passive-aggressive comments towards us, mostly towards H. They got into the arguments few times. As L, since he broke up with his boyfriend at the time, it was already about 3 years before, has been living alone, I have noticed it was hard for him to compromise about things on a trip as where we go next, where to get accommodation, or where we gonna eat. At the time I was more people pleaser, and I have not realized that back then. It is important to note that L works 6 days a week, and only time he goes out is to get grocery, or he goes to gym and swimming pool, rarely for a hike alone. So basically he does not have social life, but I respect it as it is his life. But I notice that he gets easily irritated by people and loses his cool. After the vacation H was a bit disappointed with L, understandable, but after some time they spoke and everything was fine. The same year they made a plan for Christmas that L is coming for Christmas to Scotland to spend holiday with her, and I was invited as well, but decide to spend it with my family and help around. On Christmas morning H called me disappointed and mad that L changed his plans last minute and he is not coming. If she would know that with a time ahead, she could book flight tickets and flew back home and be with her family as well. I tried to reach L via phone and find out what was the reason for canceling plans with H at last minute. He just said that last week's in work was super exhausted and he became anxious, so decide not to go. At the time I tried to understand him and even called H afterwards to explain the actions of L, and H just said that L should be more emphatic, and basically, I have to agree with her now. Fast forward to next year when we decided to go again, 3 of us to Canary Islands. H decided not to go. She cancelled 1.5 months before the trip, which was okay. During the trip we had with L multiple disagreements, even a first day of the trip. He made comments on how slow I am walking, how he had to stop at gas station every hour as I needed to go washroom way often than him. I just drink enough water to stay hydrated as I have a problem with lymph and it made my legs go swollen. Even he knows I have intolerance for gluten and lactose, and he chose always McDonald's to eat there, and later make comments that I am not skinny cause I eat trash food, which is not true, and I am lazy. I am not. I love hiking and walking, I just cannot do cardio workout as I have a problem with fast heartbeat, and even taking medication for it, but I do yoga. He often made these comments and top it up with "I am just joking" phrase, and said there are man who loves these curvy women. I would not have a problem with my body if people would mind their business and give me their opinions on my body. I have not asked for. I am not fat, but either skinny, just normal body type. He made me feel miserable at the trip. I tried to stay cool but could not prevent from upcoming arguments. The shit hit the fan when he made video in the ocean with his brand new iPhone, underwater, and later his new phone dies and he could not turn it on. Somehow it was my fault, and rest of the trip he was mad at me. At the airport we say goodbye and I could not reach him after that, for 4 to 5 months. I even talk about the trip with H and she admit that she cancels the trip because she was afraid he is gonna behave as the last time the year before. She was right, but this time there was no one else, so I was the only target, but still I have found reason to excuse his behavior. He was my best friend for such a long time and we had so many good memories, I did not want to give up on them. She tried to talk with L and after 4 to 5 months he wrote me and we started to have a regular call as before and apologized to each other. Fast forward to this year. My birthday is on beginning of July and we started to plan our trip together in May. Please note that before trip we agreed to split finances for fuel and accommodation. He flew to our hometown for 3 weeks, made appointments with doctors and dentists, and our trip was scheduled on 5th of July. We went to southwest Czechia to canoeing. I was driving my car, and it took me almost 5 hours to reach the destination. We decided to take a 4 days trip on river in canoe, as renting company advised for beginners to take this route, which is easy and provided it should take 4 days, due to his instantly pushing in comments how weak I am, that I am not paddling correctly, even it was his first time on river. He acted like he knows the best, that I should stop paddling as he will handle that, and 5 minutes later he said that I should help him, etc. We reach our destination or river in 2.5 days. The weather was not the best, it was raining, and as I wanted to go hiking after for 2 or 3 days to nearby national park, we talked about it before trip and agreed. He tried to change my mind to go to Germany, visit some castles in Munich, which I tried to reason with him that it is more than 4 hours of driving away and it will be more expensive for both of us. My job is not as well paid as is in Iceland, and I am paying the loan for my apartment, so my finance are limited. I tried to keep it low cost, even I had some money on side in case of emergency situation. But finally I gave up and agreed, as there was one place for hike I wanted to visit, so I consider it and agreed, as I like old castles and historical centers in cities. Mind that cost for accommodation and fuel should be split between two of us. We arrived in Munich around the midnight. I was tired and ill, as 2 days before we were camping and that night was really cold. I was not feeling well. Next day we went to the center of Munich, parked car there and for 3 hours and went to explore the city center. First he was upset when I did not want to go with him to Church Tower as I was not feeling well, but he kept quiet, I could read it from his face. We walked around the center, grab a coffee, and even we have still 1 hour before leaving the parking place we agreed to leave the center as there was a traffic due to the reconstruction on a road in center, and there was still around 3 hours of driving to get to other destination. When we were approaching the parking lot, he decided to go to park, which was nearby, like 15 minutes of walking. I agreed as I knew at this point he would get upset and I really did not want to argue with him. He pointed to another place he wanted to go, but I remind him that we do not have much time, but if he wants to go there, he can, and I will wait for him. He got upset and said that if I was not walking so slowly it would be easier. I remind him that we need to leave the parking lot in few minutes and there is traffic on road and also another 3 hours of driving, and he really wanted to see that castle and it can be problem to reach it before the closing hours, so the next day we could go for short hike, only 7 kilometers, and move to another destination, so I would not have to drive during the night exhausted again. He becomes angry and said that I do not need to be there, and I am acting like his mom, and that we both wanted to go to Germany, so I should not act like he should more appreciate me driving him around, and I don't remember what else. I stood there in disbelief. I tried to recall previous day if I really made some comments or said something to make him feel that way. As more I tried to remember, I started to see how he treated me during all trip, but I said nothing. He left. He was walking fast that I lost him in the street, but I went to a parking lot where I found him. He was quiet. I asked him if he can turn on the navigation on his phone and tell me where to go, as we did it like that during last days. He just told me where to turn with cold tone in his voice. When I looked at his phone, I saw the destination was our hometown. So, I asked him if he navigates me to the castle he wanted to visit. He replied, "No, I want to go home." I told him that I have still few days of vacation, and if he feels I hurt or mistreat him we can talk about that, but as we even argued before, I do not see reason why to cancel our trip too early. Even I have not been so comfortable as before. I always believe that most of the problems can be talked out. He replied with, "I want to go home." I told him that at least we can talk, and after he decide that he wants to go home I can drive him to the train station, but I do not want to go back home and want to use the rest of my time to travel around and explore new places. He did not want to talk, so I drove him to the station, and as he was walking away, I told him to have a safe trip home. He did not even turn around. I felt so hurt. I knew at that moment I lost my best friend, as I realized that I cannot make excuses for him anymore. He knew about my family situation and all stress I went the last months and how much I was looking forward to this trip with him to celebrate my 30th birthday, and even I left him at the train station. It felt like he was leaving me. I know that he is not going to reach me, and to be honest I am not going to try to reach him. I wanted to talk, I wanted to know how I messed up, as he was acted that he is the mistreated one. So, people of Reddit, am I the At least can you help me to maybe understand him better? On a way to South Germany my car broke down. It had to be towed, but fortunately they could repair some parts to be able to drive back home, which took me 8 hours, and I paid for fuel and mechanic, so I had to take from my savings. I feel so sad and frustrated and have feeling that L is too proud to text me first, that he is willing to lose the friendship over it. But at the same time I know that I cannot go on like this anymore.